Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing really well. Today's video is going to be a sewing video, which of course is one of my favourite kind of videos to film because I get to do some sewing and, well, I love sewing, of course. This week I thought it was about time that I cut into this lovely fabric, which I've had in my stash for quite a while now. I ordered this from Self-Made. Keep going to call them Stoff and Still. They're not Stoff and Still anymore, they are Self-Made. And it was advertised as a floral broderie glaze, which of course it is, but on the website it looked like the floral print was much more small scale than it actually is in real life. So when it came, I was a bit like, oh, that is really beautiful, but it's got such a large print on it, I'm not quite sure what to do with it. So it's kind of sat in my fabric stash for a little while, and I thought I have a holiday coming up in the summertime. We're actually going to Italy for a week, which I'm so excited about, and it should, fingers crossed, mean that we have some nice warm weather. So I really wanted to make something out of this for that holiday. I didn't really feel as though this would work for a full-on dress. I don't know why, in my head it just wasn't quite working. And I keep seeing all of these lovely co-ord sets around on the high streets. There are so many at the moment, just like there was last year actually. So you can get like shorts co-ord sets and skirts co-ord sets. And I was thinking actually maybe this would make a really nice like shorts and top co-ord set, or maybe like a midi skirt and a cropped top. And I think I'm actually set on the top part of the set that I'm going to make. I'm not quite sure at the moment how the bottoms are going to go. So for the top part of the set, I'm going to use one of my favourite patterns, which I bought last year, the Ashton top by Helen's Closet. So if you've not seen the Ashton top, I'll pop in an image here. It's a really simple shift style sleeveless top. It has some bust darts and it has a really nice cropped length. There are other lengths that you can sew, but for me I wanted something that was cropped but not too cropped, and I absolutely love it. I love the shape of it. It's got some nice wide straps so you can wear a bra under it easily. It's got, as I say, a lovely crop length, and the hem is finished with a hem facing, which just gives it a nice sort of boxy shape, and it hangs really nicely. So I wanted to use that pattern again, but for this I had in my mind that I really wanted a top with sleeves. Luckily for me, the Ashton top actually comes with a sleeve expansion pack on the Helen's Closet website. So the sleeve expansion pack actually comes with a few different options that you can sew. You can sew a short straight sleeve, a long straight sleeve, a lovely floaty sort of flutter sleeve, and this really pretty petal sleeve as well. This add-on pack was around £7, I think, and you do need to have the original Ashton pattern to be able to make the top with sleeves. So for me, for this top, I just want the short straight sleeve. So I've printed out the sleeve pattern pieces in PDF format. I'm just going to piece those together in a minute. There's also like a shoulder reshaping part as well that you just need to redraw slightly. So this is going to be an evolution of sorts. We're going to see how it comes together. I think what I'm going to do is sew up the top first, and then I'm going to see what fabric I have left and what I can do with the rest of the fabric in terms of bottoms. So you're coming with me on this journey, as it were, and I will share all of my thought processes, all of my trials and errors along the way, as I always do, and I'll just chat through the whole process with you. So I really hope that that will be helpful. One thing to say about this fabric is that it is quite see-through. So for the bottom half, whatever I make, either shorts or a skirt, I'm going to have to line it in some way. So I'm not going to bother to line the top actually. I'm going to leave that as it is because I have plenty of cami tops and strappy vests and things that I can just pop under. I've never actually lined a pair of shorts or trousers, so that's going to be another challenge that I'll have to come across along the way if I do decide to go down the shorts route. So what I'm going to do now is just piece together this pattern, get it cut out, and then hopefully get my fabric for the top cut out as well. But before I get into doing all of that, I just want to give a quick mention to the sponsor of today's video, which is Serious Readers. If you are a regular to my channel, you will know how much I love and use all the time my HD light by Serious Readers. Serious Readers offer a really wide range of HD lights on their website, which are perfect for crafters like you and me who really love to craft all day long and well into the evening, and even on bad weather and dull days, but sometimes you just need a little bit of extra help with your eyesight or with your lighting solutions in your home. All serious readers' HD lights come fitted with something called daylight wavelength technology, which is perfect for duller days and darker evenings, because the daylight wavelength technology replicates the daylight spectrum as close as is technically possible, so you really feel as though you're working in daylight, even if it is dull or dark outside. Every HD light is also fitted with a beam width function, which is perfect for zooming in and focusing exactly on what you're working on. I find this really helpful for when I'm reading knitting patterns in the evening, for example, when it might be a little bit dark in our living room, but we don't necessarily want to put the big light on. I can just have my lights on in the background and I can see my knitting pattern or my knitting or whatever I'm working on really clearly. The lights are also fitted with a dimmer function as well, so you don't have to have your light on fully bright all of the time. You can tone it down or up as needed. Serious readers' HD lights also come in lots of different designs, so you can actually craft your own light, fit in with your own home decor. So I have a black floor standing light with a lightweight base which can easily be moved from room to room, and my light actually has brass accent finishes, and I chose those finishes just because they do blend in with my own home decor with our living room. But you can choose to have a white light if you prefer, and there are also other accent finish colours too. As I say, I really do use my light all the time. I use it for reading in the morning, just to get that extra bit of light when it is still dull and dark in the morning. I also use it, as I say, for knitting and crochet in the evening, and I will move it into this room as well when I need a bit of extra lighting if I'm ever cutting out or working on my sewing machine in the evenings. It's really great for getting just the right focus when you're threading needles too, which I find particularly hard these days. I don't know about you. Serious readers are offering my viewers £150 off of any of their HD lights using my code Sally. I'll leave my discount code and a link to the Serious Readers website in the video description, and I hope that after you finish watching my video you'll pop over and check them out. Thank you so much to Serious Readers for sponsoring this part of the video. Morning, it's the next day now. I've just been out on a really lovely dog walk. It's so nice and sunny and warm today, and apparently we're in for some lovely weather over the next few days, so that's really exciting. And I just love sewing in here on a sunny day, because this dining room where I sew, it just gets all the sunshine in the morning, so it's really nice to sort of be in here sewing away in the mornings, and mornings are definitely my favourite time. I have a real dip in the afternoon and then I kind of perk up again in the evening. But anyway, I have everything cut out and ready to sew now. Got everything cut out yesterday, and I'm really excited to see how this Ashton top with sleeves comes together. So I think the construction is pretty basic in terms of sewing the top together. So we pretty much follow the instructions for the normal Ashton top in terms of putting in the bust darts and then doing the shoulder and side seams. Then I just need to bias bind the neckline, because normally if you were doing the sleeveless version, you can either bias bind the armholes and neckline, or you can do an all-in-one facing using the burrito method. And in the past when I've made this top, I've actually used that burrito method to finish it, and it gives a really lovely neat finish. But obviously because I'm putting sleeves into this top, I need to do something with my neckline. So I'm actually cheating this time, and I'm using some shop bought bias binding, because I wasn't quite sure how this lacy broderie anglaise would sort of work as a binding. So I am cheating this time, which is okay to do now and again, I think. Today, by the way, just in case you're interested, I'm wearing a pair of Tyra trousers. Yet again, you know I live in these all the time, they're so comfy. Today I'm wearing my navy linen viscose pair, and I've also got on a ready-to-wear top from Marks and Spencer's, which I picked up at the weekend actually, because I do struggle for tops to wear with these navy trousers, and I thought this kind of camely stripy top went really nicely with the navy, so that's what I'm wearing today. Nice and cool and comfy. Let's get going. Sewed and finished one seam with the overlocker, and then decided that this lovely fabric deserved French seams. So we're going for French seams on the shoulder seam and the side seams. It'll take me a little bit longer, but I think it will be worth it in the end. This is when you know you're a true sewing geek, but is there anything better than a beautifully finished French seam? I don't think there is. I absolutely love French seams. They take longer to do, but they're always worth it. And even though this is a cotton, it's really, really light. So I'm hoping that I haven't added too much bulk around the seam lines there. I almost went to put my overlocker away because I'm French seaming, but I decided to leave it out so that I can just overlock the armholes of the sleeves, because let's be honest, it's kind of faffy to do a French seam around an armhole, and that is the part that no one ever sees, and also I don't want to add too much bulk to that area, so I'll leave it out for the time being. Right, neckline is done. Little confession, I'm not a massive lover of a bias bound neckline. I find it so hard to get it to sit without it sticking up at all. I know probably when it's on me it will flatten out, but I do much prefer like a faced finish or something like that, or lining. But anyway, on this occasion I don't think there was anything else I could have done. I always have the fear making this top that it's just not going to go over my head, so I did just have to quickly try it on. So next we are onto the sleeves, and that's where we pick up the expansion pack instructions. So the sleeves look pretty standard. So what we need to do first is just press up the hem of the sleeve and just do all the pressing for the hem. Sew the side seams, sew the gathers, and then sew the sleeve into the armhole. are in. They went in really nicely and easily, so that was good. And I have just quickly popped this on again just to check that it fits. I'm having fit fear. I keep thinking it's going to turn out really small, but we're all right. It's not oversized in any way, but it fits okay, and I can get it on and off over my head. I think that's the thing to consider with this top, just that it is one that you do have to pull on and off over your head, so you just have to make sure that you've got enough room in it to be able to do that. So next, we're nearly done actually, we're on to the hem facing, because the hem is the only raw edge that we've got left. So as I mentioned, the hem is finished with a nice hem facing. I've actually chosen to fuse my facings with a bit of interfacing just because my fabric is so light, and I want it to have a little bit of like boxiness to it, so I'm hoping the interfacing is going to give me a little bit of extra shape to the top. So what we do is we've got a front facing and a back facing, and we just join those into a circle, and then you sew those to the top right sides together and kind of fold it in, and it gives a really nice weighty finish. I love doing this kind of facing, as I said before, so yeah, that's the final bit of the top. We're done. I love this so much. I'm so happy with how it turned out. Quite cropped, as you can see. So you do need to wear something quite high-waisted with this, I will say. So do just check the length if you are going to be sewing this. Just make sure you're happy with it. I am going to go and try this on in a little while, and I'm going to try it on with a pair of shorts and try it on with a skirt and just see what I think about the bottom half, because I'm still a little bit undecided at the moment. I'm erring towards shorts more at the moment just because I am the kind of person that does wear shorts and trousers probably more than skirts, and I feel as though a skirt maybe will feel a bit more fancy than the shorts. I don't know, but we'll try this on in a little while and see how I think. But that's where I'm going to leave my sewing today. I'm going to have a think about the bottoms and then hopefully come back tomorrow so that we can get the bottom half done, whatever we decide to do. Okay, so quick try on of the top. So you can see that it is really cropped on its own, but then when you pair with a pair of shorts that's reasonably high-waisted, that kind of sits on my natural waist, it's okay. And I'm really glad that I did interface this hem, because it's giving it a really nice shape now, and it's really holding like the A-line sides of the top, so I'm glad I did that. So I do like how this looks with a pair of shorts actually. These shorts are ready to wear, they're from H&M. I think if I make shorts, I would just go a little bit shorter with the shorts, just to kind of keep in line with like the cropped top. And then this is what a skirt looks like. So obviously this skirt is not really quite what I'm going for, but I just wanted to see the shape of it with the top. I think it looks nice, but I think, I don't know, can I imagine that in the same fabric as the top? I think it looks nice, but I think I'm actually preferring the shorts idea at the moment. I think that would just be nicer for a summer holiday, but I do like the idea of this exact same top maybe in a different fabric with a skirt to match, so maybe that's something for another day. the next day now, and I've just spent some time sorting out my shorts pattern, so I decided to go for shorts in the end. I didn't have a lot of fabric anyway, so I think this is probably the best option, and I've decided to keep things super simple, and I'm just going to make a really easy elasticated waist pair of shorts. And as I mentioned, I do need to line them as well, so I'm not even going to put any pockets or anything in these this time. I'm just simply going to make them elasticated and line them as well. So I think I mentioned yesterday when I was trying on the Tyra trouser pattern, but I've gone back to the Sapphire trouser pattern now, just because they are the more simple pair of trousers, so there's no pockets involved. You can add pockets if you want to, but the actual pattern doesn't have any pockets that you have to include. So I'm just going to use that pattern, and what I've done is I've taken these ready to wear shorts and just measured the crotch length, so the length from crotch to the end of the leg, and that measured 11 centimetres. So what I've done is just retraced and shortened the leg of the Sapphire trouser pattern to make it 11 centimetres plus a good hem. So I actually made it in the end 15 centimetres. And with the lining, obviously you kind of lose some width, or it will probably make your garment feel a little bit more tight because you've got an extra layer of fabric. So what I've done to try and accommodate that is I have retraced the Sapphire pattern. So with my outer fabric, I've graded from a size 2 at the waist to a size 3 at the bottom of the leg. And then for the lining, I've just kept it at a size 2. So I've got a little bit more space in my outer fabric width than I have in the lining, if that makes sense. So everything's cut out now. I've cut out my main fabric and I've also cut my lining. So this lining is just a white cotton. It's quite white actually compared to the off-white of my shorts, but I don't think you're going to actually see that. And when you hold the two fabrics together, it just kind of darkens that a little bit. Oh, I forgot to mention as well actually that I did cut the lining slightly shorter than the main fabric, just so that I can have a little bit of sort of see-throughness at the bottom of the hem of the shorts. So what I need to do is sew together the shorts in the main fabric and the shorts in the lining, and then what I'm going to do is just pop one inside the other and then deal with the waistband when I come to it. Let's get going anyway and see how we get on. So I've got my lining piece and my main piece together, and I've just basted the top together, so I've got the lining and the fabric sitting together, because next what I'll have to do is just turn over the waistband for the elasticated waist. I'm still undecided at the moment as to whether or not to do a flat fronted waistband or a full elasticated waistband. For some reason I feel as though a full elasticated waistband is going to work better for these. I can't understand why. Sometimes I just get a feeling. So I might just go with that. They look so funny at the moment when they're all big, don't they? Something I wondered about doing, which you could possibly do if you wanted to, if you're going to be making anything like this. I didn't know whether to cut the lining at the waist slightly lower so it would reduce bulk. So at the moment, obviously, I've got two fabrics together, and then I'm going to be turning over a waistband as well. And that is going to be reasonably bulky, but because my broderie anglaise fabric is quite light, I didn't do that this time. I might regret that. It might end up being quite bulky. But anyway, that's something that you could think about if you were going to be doing something similar to this. So what I've done as well is just put my lining piece and my outer piece wrong sides together so that you see the nice part of the lining inside rather than the overlocked piece as you normally would with a lining. They're looking okay so far. I feel a little bit nervous about this, not sure why. I think it's just one of those things where I haven't made a pair of sapphire shorts before and I'm always a little bit worried that I'm going to cut shorts too short. Right, let's do the waistband and see how we go, and then I'm going to just pop up and try these on and see what they look like. Okay, I've just popped up to see what we're dealing with here, and I think the elasticated waist is fine. I think I've guessed or worked out that width of elastic okay, and the hemline just sits nicely over that elasticated waist, and that's really good. So I'm going to turn up the shorts a little bit more than what they are now, probably to about there, which is roughly 1.5 inches, I think. So I'm going to take 1.5 inches off of the main fabric and also 1.5 inches off of the lining, which should give me a little bit of gap between the lining and the shorts. Done, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. It was such fun to sew, and I'm really glad that I've used this lovely fabric for something that I love. I love this top on its own, so obviously with both of these, the top and the shorts, you can wear them separately as well as together, and that's what I always really like about a co-ord set rather than like a jumpsuit or something like that. You can mix and match. So yeah, that's the top, and then these are the shorts. So with the shorts, in the end, you will have seen that I turned up the bottom of the main fabric by 1.5 inches, turned up the 1.5 inches, and then I just folded the hem back in on itself, so it's got quite a weighty hem. And then with the lining, I actually chopped off 2.5 inches, and then I just simply overlocked around the bottom of the hem because I thought no one's going to see inside, and it's also just going to make it hang a little bit less bulkily inside. So if I hold it up in the light, I hope you can maybe see that there's a little bit of difference. The lining finishes about 1 inch above the hem of the main fabric, which I quite like because then you get a little bit of see-throughness. So yeah, so happy with how that turned out, and I hope it's given you some inspiration for how you can use some quite simple patterns. These are both beginner-friendly patterns, especially if you make the Ashton top with no sleeves, which of course you could do. So many different combinations that you could make with these two patterns as well. You could go sleeveless on the top, top and full trousers on the bottom, or culotte length trousers on the bottom. You could just do so much with this kind of combination. Obviously the sapphire trousers, I talk about them a lot on this channel. They're a really great pattern for wide leg trousers and super simple for beginners as well. Just 2 pattern pieces and an elasticated waist, and so simple to sew, but I think if you make them from lots of different fabrics, you can just get different looks every time. You can make drawstring waist, now you can make shorts. So I'm sure I'm going to be using this pattern again to make lots of lovely elasticated waist pairs of shorts for the summer. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have enjoyed the video, please do give it a like if you wouldn't mind, and also if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd love you to consider subscribing. You can also follow me over on Instagram for more day-to-day photos and videos and behind the scenes. And I'm sure I will be putting more photos of this outfit onto Instagram once I get around to properly wearing it and things. And you can also join me over on Patreon as well, where I have an extra sewing membership and I post lots of extra videos and tutorials and an extra monthly vlog as well. So I'll leave links to all of those things in the description below this video, and don't forget to pop over and check out Serious Readers as well. Use my offer and just have a look at everything that they have to offer. I think that's everything I need to say for today's video. Thanks so much for joining me again. Enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.